This video got less than 300 views, but it generated 164 sales and counting. This video got about 100 views, but it landed me 2 paying clients. If you are a creator, a founder, a freelancer, or anybody using YouTube as even one of your traction channels, you really need to understand that the number at the bottom of your dashboard is not what makes you successful. If you are building a business or striking out on your own, do not let the myth that you need hundreds and thousands of views to be successful stop you from starting. I have made thousands from this channel, despite not having the metrics that a lot of people would consider success. What actually pays is getting the right people to watch, to engage, and give them value. And the way you do that all stems from having the correct system set up. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 5 ways in which to turn a tiny audience into a real revenue stream and the exact system and setup that you need to get started on your journey from converting from content. I'm Gina. I've spent the last 20 years building businesses, and right now is the best time ever to start your own thing. Whether that is your creator business, your freelance business, or your own product, now is a time where there is no more hiring teams, no more renting offices, no more burning through cash, just proper systems and setups that enable you to replace entire teams with tools and AI. I've taken my 20 years of experience and translated that into systems to get you set up and tools in which to automate, delegate, outsource, and get access to information at scale with no cost and less risk. So let's get into why you need to ignore vanity metrics and what you should be doing instead. These are my YouTube metrics. And I know what you're thinking. Why should I listen to a creator that doesn't have the metrics that I think I need? But these are the YouTube metrics of another channel that I've built. These 2 channels share a suspiciously similar background. And that is because they are filmed in the same house with the exact same system. This creator system setup is exactly the same as this creator system setup. This channel drives revenue and this channel drives revenue. If you were to pick one channel that you thought was more successful, you'd probably go with this one. But actually, in pure business terms, this one is more successful. I mean, we are kind of on a par. Jordan has used the same system that I used to get himself set up, and he gets the views, but he also gets tons of engagement. Just look at some of these comments. This channel is now at the point where we are going to monetize. But my channel started with monetization at the forefront. Whether you are a channel that is very entertainment-led and you need that big audience and you need that engagement before you monetize your audience, or whether you are a channel that has a product or a purpose, the system remains the same. Now, Jordan's channel is a slight outlier. It is one that gets thousands of views and thousands of comments and is highly engaged. But that's not always the case. Small engaged audiences will always beat large passive ones. I sometimes see creators that have hundreds of thousands of views, but less than 10 comments. What the system that I've built does is focus on quality over quantity. Ali Abdaal started the same. He might look big and shiny and impressive now, but he made over £100,000 from his course before he even hit the 50,000 subscriber mark. That is because his videos, my videos, Jordan's videos are aimed directly at the people that will eventually pay money. They give them direct value, and our channels ignore the vanity metrics and track what's actually important. So let's do the same for you. Now, everything that is successful is so because of a system. I have built that system for completely free. All you need to do is go to the link in the description, grab yourself that template. You will need a Notion workspace, but that is also completely free. I have given you the exact system that built these channels and drove over 100,000 subscribers and thousands of pounds of revenue. So grab it now and use it to work through this video. I also have another video here about how to use that exact tool for completely free. But let's get into how you actually drive success with content. Firstly, you need to know who will buy, not just who will watch, who will actually buy. Disinterested viewership is pointless. Viewership from people who are going to give you money is what you are aiming for. So the very first thing you're going to ask is who will buy this product or who will watch this content, who will get value from this content. If you have run your buyer persona exercise, it is very easy to look and see whether you are giving them value, or ask people. Everyone gets so caught up in being too salesy, but if you have run a buyer persona and you have a few personas in mind, find versions of those people online and drop them a DM. Ask them a question. You've got nothing to lose. Give them a few sentences of what you're building, you're selling, you're teaching, you're talking about, and see if they're interested. If they say yes, then you know that they are your buyer personas. But really hone in and understand who you are making the content for and why they would care before you start planning any content. And now you know who you are trying to reach. It is time to start thinking about that funnel of how you get them to see the content. You know the persona, you know you're going to give value, so how do you actually get them to see it? In the world of YouTube, in the world of any content, that is your title and your thumbnail. As you can see from this system that I have built, and if you haven't grabbed it, go and grab it now. We move from idea to title to thumbnail before we start even thinking about researching or writing the script. This is because to make sure you are moving from idea to revenue, you need to take what you are delivering to your buyer personas, brainstorm those into ideas that they would like to see, and then think about how you frame that into a title that is going to tell them exactly what pain point, what pleasure, what interest you are touching from their buyer personas. The best way to write your title is to either have the title be your offer, the relief from pain you get from your offer, or some information that that persona would need or want. Think about what your buyer personas are going to be Googling or searching, or will stop them in their path because it clearly addresses something about them. That's why your personas are so important. And now you have that title, you need to actually earn their reading of that title with their thumbnail. Nobody scrolls and sees titles. 70% of YouTube videos are clicked on because they are in the browse section. When you are browsing through a site, you are not looking for text, you are looking to be stopped in your tracks visually. So next, we need to build a thumbnail. If you do not have design skills, do not worry. Here is where our delegating and outsourcing comes into play with how we build businesses better in 2025. For your thumbnail, the best rule of thumb is that you go with something strikingly visual. Demonstrate the promise of the video in either bold images or bold text. Canva has a ton of templates. So once you know what kind of imagery, what kind of scenery, what kind of text you want, head over to Canva, grab yourself a free template, and update it with either searchable images within the product or text. I still use Canva on my free account, and I've been using it for 5 years. I still make a ton of my design elements from Canva. It is so intuitive. You don't need to know anything about design to get started, and it makes sure that everything is formatted properly. All you need is a thumbnail template and to download it, and it will be in the exact correct aspect ratio for YouTube. Test this a little bit by showing some of your friends and seeing which one they find the most interesting or the most visually appealing. Do not clutter it with text. A couple of words, a strong visual, a before and after, something that you can imagine your buyer personas seeing and wanting to then read the title. That is why the packaging is so important. You stop that scroll, then you earn that click by showing and then saying the value that you're going to give to your direct buyer persona. So now you have people's attention and you've got their click. You need to earn their watching. Clickbait does nothing for your revenue. You need to create value so that the right people stay, they watch you, they understand you, they trust you, and they engage with you more. Getting people to watch also means that your videos will be suggested in their watch bar as they're looking at your channel. So they've stopped to scroll, they've read your title, they've clicked through to watch, and you need to make sure that you are delivering the value that you have promised in that title and thumbnail. This content board is set up in the exact way in order to help you do that. You move from left to right, doing things in the order that mean you are going to deliver value to the correct person who you have made stop and click. These cards make sure you follow that path. The formula to make sure that someone is going to continue watching is simple. It's 5 Ps: pain, promise, path, proof, and then pitch. What you are going to help them overcome, what they are going to get from this video, how that happens, the proof that you are the right person to tell them, and then a CTA to whatever it is you're offering towards the end. You can move this pitch around within your video, but you need to ensure that in the first 30 seconds, you are telling them again about their pain. You are reiterating the title and the thumbnail so they know that they've clicked something that's going to give them exactly what they wanted. You are then delivering immediate value. You are promising them something that is of value to them. Then you need to do the work. Give them the path in which to resolve that pain. Take them through step by step and make sure that every minute you are reiterating the value. Then proof. Anyone can say anything, but who are you to give them that information? I've worked for 20 years, have worked with multiple brands, and have plenty of use cases that I use to support what I'm telling people. What is your proof and your differentiator? This works across every channel, not just product, how-to, tutorials, education channels. Let's break down my channel and Jordan's channel to show how this formula applies for two different types of content. Looking at my channel, which is very teachable, educational, with actual products. Pain is the first line in the buyer's words. Promise is the outcome that I'm going to deliver. Path is the few steps you will show on camera. Proof is one quick example, even if it's small, like turning 400 views into 2 clients. And pitch is the one clear next step. You want your hook to be 10 seconds, the path in very easy copyable steps, proof, and then one CTA, plainly set. Now for Jordan, whose archetype is entertainment. His pain is the gap in knowledge or the need for entertainment. The promise is the setup, what is going to be happening in the video. The path is the action, the storytelling, the recording. The proof is your peak of the story, the delivery of that entertainment that you've shown in the thumbnail and the title. And the pitch? Well, that is the subscribe, that is the sneak peek, or that is space for you to start bringing in your own CTAs so you can build on your channel. So that is how you use the system to actually create the content. But the biggest thing within this operating system that I have built, and for anyone out there using YouTube for any type of traction, is to look at what matters, not what other people see. This video looks impressive, but that is surface vanity. This 500,000 plus views might have been 500,000 people that clicked and left disappointed. Having someone click and leave does nothing but hurt your brand. Once you have lost that trust, that viewer will not come back. If you are using titles and thumbnails for clickbait and not delivering in the first 10, 30 seconds, you will lose that viewer and you will lose the opportunity to build an engaged audience. That is why view count is actually pointless.